What's up, guys? Jags Nation here to bring you my Week 5 recap between the Jaguars and the Texans. The Jaguars falls to the Houston Texans by the final score of 30-14, and there was a lot of negatives in this game. Some positives, but mostly all negatives, which I'll get into in a few minutes. First things first, congratulations to any Texans fans watching this video on your first win of the season. You guys are now 1-4, same with us, but you guys are now in third place. So yeah, congratulations, and I guess best of luck against the Tennessee Titans next week. All right, so where should I start in this game, man? For me, I thought the offense, the play calling from Jay Gruden was actually terrible in my opinion. You know, the first 2 weeks his play calling was very, very good. The third week, you know, it wasn't that good, but then week 4 it was like, you know, inconsistent. But this week I thought this is his worst play calling of the whole season, and just like James Robinson, you only run 13 times. The first play was like 11-yard run, and then basically you abandoned the run, and then you got back to the run for a few plays, and then in like the second half you didn't run with him at all, even though we were down like only like 20-10 or even like only by a touchdown. You said in your press conference that you would keep James Robinson going, keep attacking the run, even if you were down, and you did the opposite of that. You made Gardner Minshew, I believe, throw 49 times or 48 times. That's absolutely ridiculous. I don't think any quarterback should be throwing that much. And I think I talked about in the preview, you need to use James Robinson as much as you can in the passing game, in the running game, because you're going against the worst run defense in the league, and we only ran for 48 yards on 13 carries. I mean, you should have just kept pounding the rock, because eventually he would have broke off a big one against the Texans defense. So I was very disappointed in Jay Gruden's play calling. And then also I was also disappointed in not getting DJ Chark the ball. I believe he only had 2 or 3 catches. I believe like 3 catches for like 16 yards. So I was definitely disappointed in that. I don't know if that's more on Minshew or, you know, the play calling, but they also, I know they did double team him a lot. So that has a little bit to do with it, but the play calling in general wasn't very good. We didn't take many deep shots, and when we did, Minshew was underthrowing them. He did hit Chris Conley like a 50-something yarder, but Chris Conley had to come back to the ball. So that's still a concern, like I talked about with Minshew's arm strength. Hopefully he can get that up, but I highly doubt it at this point. And you got to take, you know, I just keep rambling on now, like I always do. But Gardner Minshew, I thought, played okay. It wasn't a good game from him, but it wasn't a terrible game from him. Threw over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He did have that one fumble where he got sacked and the ball came out. I think he got sacked like 3 or 4 times, and I believe like 2 of them were his fault from once again moving out of a clean pocket and trying to make more of a play and getting sacked. So that's something that, you know, he still needs to work on. And, you know, you really got to start thinking, is Gardner Minshew the future? I do think Gardner Minshew has all the tools to be a great quarterback. I think, you know, he is a great locker room guy. The players love him. He's a great leader. He's very accurate on short and medium passes. His arm strength is a question, like I said earlier, of players having to come back to the ball. And I mean, and for the most part, he can read defenses very, very well. So, you know, he has a lot of positives, but he also has a few weaknesses that, you know, is very concerning going forward, because if you are picking in top 5, you have a new coaching staff, more than likely they're going to want to get their own quarterback. So, I mean, who knows? That this is definitely, you know, Gardner Minshew has to play better in order to prove that he should be the Jaguars starting quarterback. I hope he does, because I am a big fan of Gardner, but I can understand if they want a new quarterback. The offense, some positives on the offense. I thought Viska had another good game. He had like 70-something yards. I was a little, you know, upset that they didn't use him in the running game as much. I believe he only had like 1 carry, or if he even ran the ball at all. So they definitely need to get him involved more in the running game. But yeah, he had like 70-something receiving yards. Keelan Cole had another good game. His 3rd touchdown of the season. He continues to be a good number 3 receiver, which I hopefully, you know, we extend him, re-sign him in the offseason. So we'll see with that. But I wouldn't be surprised if we don't, because he's probably going to get paid like a number 2, even though I think he's a good number 3. And the offensive line, I thought, you know, they did decent, not, you know, amazing, but, you know, they held their own. I believe they are a top 15 unit. You know, PC fans comment saying the offensive line is so bad. No, the offensive line is not that bad. The offensive line has actually done a fairly decent job, a lot better than last year, so that's a huge improvement. You know, they're all playing together for like the 2nd time consistently, you know, last year and then this year, so that, you know, that's a huge advantage, and that's why they are playing better. Now for the defensive side of the ball, for the 4th straight week, we have allowed 30+ points. Now we were, going into the 4th quarter, I believe it was like 20-10. So the defense was actually, for the most part, I thought, playing a lot better than previous weeks. But then all of a sudden they imploded in the 4th quarter and just started giving up more big yardage and stuff like that. You can definitely tell the linebackers we missed Miles Jack. Pass rush, I thought the pass rush was actually getting to the Deshaun Watson. We only had 1 sack by DeJuan Smoot, but I thought the pass rush was actually getting to Deshaun Watson, making him a little uncomfortable. Not a crazy amount, but a lot more consistent getting pressure like we haven't seen in previous weeks. I thought the pass rush was a lot better. Like I said, DeJuan Smoot had that one sack. I thought Sidney Jones balled out. He was targeted 5 times, only allowed 1 catch for 9 yards, had an interception, and also one of the balls he deflected. He had 4 deflections, by the way. One of the pass breakups. One of the deflections was actually being intercepted by Jared Wilson. Jared Wilson made his return back after being injured week 1. So Jared Wilson, I thought, had a good game, and Sidney Jones. I think those were the only 2 positives on the defensive side of the ball. Besides DeJuan Smoot, I thought DeJuan Smoot had an okay game. Trey Herndon continues to get, it seems like, abused a little bit. Chris Clayburgh's had a rough day. So I think going forward, your corner number 1 is going to be C.J. Henderson. Corner number 2 should be Sidney Jones, and Trey Herndon probably be in the slot. But we definitely need Josh Allen out there, and then also Miles Jack back. And then I thought Daniel Thomas came in for when Josh Jones got ejected for that helmet hit, which is stupid. I understand, the flag and the fine that's coming, but I don't think he should have been ejected. But I thought Daniel Thomas, getting more playing time, he actually did a lot better and is getting better. And he's a 5th-round pick from Auburn, so this is more of like the developmental year. You've seen what you have in these rookies, so I thought I saw some great things from him. So maybe we'll see a little bit more playing time from him going forward. But yeah, definitely the positive were Sidney Jones and Jared Wilson. And Sidney Jones was cut by the Philadelphia Eagles, and he was a 2nd-round pick, came from Washington. And before he got hurt, I believe it was at his when he had this workout at Washington with all the NFL scouts, he was supposed to be like a 1st-round pick and ended up falling to the 2nd because of his injury. So, with the Eagles cutting him, sometimes, a change of a team, new scenery, that does a lot of players good. So I believe that, not believe, but I really hope, he can turn to be a good corner. If not, he can be a good number 3 and number 4 guy. So definitely enjoy watching him play, and hopefully, he continues to get better each and every week. And then once again, special teams is terrible. Logan Cook, he did his thing. He did okay. But Stephen Huska missed a 24-yarder and then like a 40-something yarder right before half. So, and he got cut today. So we brought up John Brown from the practice squad. We definitely need Josh Lambo back because our special teams kick in. We're on our 5th kicker now, and it's just embarrassing. It's horrendous, and it's not good at all. So I believe Josh Lambo, they said, should be back. He won't be back this week versus the Lions, but he'll probably be back. Hopefully, they said hopefully the following week versus the Chargers. And the Chargers game got moved up by 1 week because they have schedule changes because of COVID, and then our bye week's the week after. So yeah, definitely disappointed in a 30-14 loss. We are 1-4. Season is pretty much basically over, and I'm just hopefully a change soon with either Doug Marrone or Todd Wash getting fired. Just maybe get a spark to this team and then get a few more wins before we start talking about the draft next year in free agency. But it's going to be an appealing job for whatever GM and GM or head coach, because you have a lot of draft capital, some young talent on the team, and also a lot of cap space. So we'll talk about that in a later video. But yeah, Jags fall to 1-4, final score of 30-14, mostly all negatives. I went over the few positives and a few players that played good. But other than that, yeah, we'll probably put my preview video out for the Detroit Lions game on either, hopefully Wednesday, probably more likely going to be Thursday. And then once again, either Sunday or Monday will be my game recap. So go Jags, and please subscribe.